In this short tutorial, we'll be setting up the L30 scope with the ACD color profile for the new ZLA approach student. First thing you want to do is navigate to your VRC folder, generally located within local disk C, program files, VRC. Once inside, open your VRC configuration file, and at the same time open your ACD color profile text document. Go ahead and copy the entire contents of the ACD color profile text document into the VRC INI file. Paste it just under version 4 at the top of the VRC INI file, and save the file. You can now exit both of these files and exit the folder, and you're now ready to start VRC. Once VRC is started, select the default profile, and we can now get started on getting the settings up. Settings, General, set our alias, our POF, and assign squat codes in random order. Hotkey, I like to use the left control for myself. Airspace 150 miles, and here we can also set up the most important fields that you'll need to have during your time at L30. These include Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and Nellis. By placing these fields within the arrival and departure fields windows, we have them set that the aircraft departing from any of these fields or arriving into any of these fields will show up on arrival and departure list within VRC. Data tags, just make sure realistic data tag mode is checked off. It's anything but realistic. Flight strips, go ahead and tick all of these buttons here. Conflict alerts, 5 miles and 1,200 feet offer a good amount of spacing that it won't get annoying, and at the same time it gives you enough room to separate aircraft if you miss something. In the button bar, unclick filters, unclick separation timers, unclick weather, unclick ruler data, and unclick the quick look. Once you've done that, you click OK. Next we have to open our sector file and go ahead and fill out our information here to connect to the network. Facility should be set to observer. Put in your ID, password, and select the server closest to you. Okay, once we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and set up our weather. So go to Tools and select Weather Panel, and you'll have your weather panel pop up in a little box. And to add a weather station, simply click the F2 key on your keyboard and type in the code of the airport you want to add, the 4-letter identifier. So Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and Nellis. Again, you're free to move this box wherever you find it most suitable for yourself while controlling. We'll also go to Tools and select Aircraft List. And the aircraft list places every single departure and arrival from the airports we selected here into this list. From this list, you can right-click and edit the aircraft, or you can double-click and get the flight plan window. Very efficient if you have a clearance from an airport and you don't want to zoom all the way in. You just simply double-click on the departure and you have the flight plan right in front of you. Okay, now we're ready to set up our scope. So first thing I want to do is turn off geography, because more than anything it distracts from controlling. We want to go to Settings, Color Profile, and select ACD as our default color profile. Make sure our radar mode is set to Arts. And next thing we want to do is display our MVAs. To do this, we'll go to View, Low Boundaries. Now we have our MVA boundary set up. To actually set up the actual MVA, we simply type .mva inside the VRC chat text box. Click Enter, and all of our MVAs are now set up. Next thing I like to do rather for my VRC scope for L30 is select the L30 video map. The video map looks more than anything like a bunch of lines scattered all over the place, but really the lines outline the path of both the arrivals and departures, as well as important fixes within the airspace. For example, if you look here, this outlines the staff 4 departure. It also outlines the Boach departures and most other departures that fly from L30. Now that we have our video map up, we want to set up our runways, so go to View, Runways. And this displays the runways at every single airport within the sector. Next thing we want to set up is the center lines of most of the approaches we'll use during our time at L30. I like to display the Nellis center line, the North Las Vegas center line, and the Henderson VOR Charlie center line. These center lines help in vectoring for the final approach course at most of these approaches. I also want to set up our Las Vegas 25 left center line. It's the most common used ILS approach at Vegas. You might use one left once in a while, but it's not too common, so I like to leave it off because it usually gets in the way of the departure video map. Once you've done this, you have the choice of, especially when you're just beginning to control L30, a lot of students find it helpful to display every single arrival into Las Vegas. That way you can see the exact path that each arrival takes to reach its destination. It does help in the beginning. Once you get more experience, I do recommend turning it off because it declutters your scope quite a bit. Now for important fixes within the airspace, you want to add Shand, Larry, and Prino. 3 important fixes on the ILS 25 left approach you'll use quite often. You want to select Caddy, Luxor, Clar, and Fuzzy, all arrival gates into Las Vegas. ISAR is an important fix. Sunset, Skeeber. Ikri, how do you spell that? It's right here, this point. Ikri. That point's important because it shows a change in MEA on the arrival into Las Vegas. Ipumi is an important fix. You want to use possibly Frog. But other than these fixes displayed here, you really won't have the need on a daily controlling basis to display any other ones. What I recommend is that if you, for example, have an approach into North Las Vegas, at the time you have that approach, you'll display the fix that you need to vector to. For example, at North Las Vegas, the PTAC is usually done to Kigi. So you just type in .ff and the name of the fix, and it'll come up on your scope. And once you're done with that North Las Vegas arrival, just type .ff again, Kigi, and it'll disappear and declutter your scope. But other than the scope we have here, there really shouldn't be a need for anything else displayed. As I said before, once you get more experienced, I do recommend turning off the arrivals and basing your knowledge on the video map, and by then you'll probably have a good memory of the path that each arrival takes.